Hello friends, welcome back to our channel. So today we will see one more concept in our computer networks, that is transport layer services to the upper layers. So far we have seen about the network layer. So what is an IP address and what are the internet control protocols. So now we will see the transport layer and the services which are being provided to the upper layers. Yes. So transport layer services provided to upper layers. So the first one is a process to process delivery. The first service is a process to process delivery. So this process to process delivery means the data should be transmitted from application to application. So here, for example, we are using an email to send the data, and at the recipient also will be using the email to receive the data. So here sending will be done and here receiving will be done, but both are using the same application. So application to application delivery of data. So how these applications can be identified, and these applications can be identified by port numbers. For every application there will be a port number. So with the help of port numbers the applications will be identified and the data will be transferred between the applications. And the next one, segmentation and reassembly. Segmentation and reassembly. So here the segmentation and reassembly means if the data is beyond the bandwidth, so the data cannot be sent at once. Okay, so sometimes this happens. So if in that case, that means if the data is, the size of the data is beyond the bandwidth, so automatically the complete data will be divided into different parts. So that we call it as a segmentations. So data is divided into small parts which we call it as a segments. Okay, and in order to identify the segments, okay, because at the receiver side again these segments should be assembled to get a proper message. Okay, so in order to group these segments at the receiver side, so it will be using some sequence numbers. Okay, so sequence numbers will be used. Sequence numbers will be given to segments, each segment. So what is the purpose of giving this sequence number means it will be used for proper reassembly at the receiver side. So segments will be assembled to get proper message. So we are sending the data to the receiver, so the data should not be lost. So here in the sender side, if we are dividing the data into segments, obviously at the receiver side all the segments should be reassembled so that the same data should be appeared at the receiver side. Okay, so that will happen, and here the major role is a sequence numbers in order to reassemble the segments. So we need to order it. Okay, and the next one, connection control. Connection control. So here there are two kinds of connection mechanisms. So one is a connectionless, another one is a connection oriented. So connection oriented. So any thing it can be used: connection oriented and connection less. So coming to the connection oriented, obviously there will be reliable data transfer. It's a guaranteed of delivery of packet. So reliable data transfer if it is a connection oriented, right? But in case of connection less, there is no guarantee of receiving the packet, okay, but fast transfer. So fast transfer will be there. Fast transfer of data will be there in a connectionless, but reliable data transfer will be coming from the connection oriented. So two kinds we can use: connection, either connection oriented or a connection less, right? So next, flow control. So already we have seen a different flow control mechanism. So in order to maintain the sending speed and receiver speed, so the transmission rate should be reduced. So transmission rate should be reduced. Okay, so this will be done with the help of sliding window protocols. So already we have seen in this flow control, we are using sliding window, go back in, selective repeat, so such kind of protocols. Okay, sliding window protocols. So these sliding window protocols will be used to control the flow of data. Next, error control. So obviously, if you are trying to send the data from source to destination, there might be a chance of losing the data. So the data can be corrupted also. So error correction. So how the data, I mean how the error will be corrected, how the corrupted data can be received. That means retransmission. So we can use a retransmission of packets. So this also already we have seen retransmission of packets. So some packets we have seen the choke packet. Okay, choke packet will be there, a separate packet which gives the status of the current traffic. Okay, so like that, based upon the choke packet, the data will be retransmitted. So that will be a combination of congestion control and error control. Okay, so how we can, so it also detects the error, so already we have seen the error mechanisms. So to detect that one, checksum, okay, CRC, right? So all these methods we can detect the error. And congestion control. Congestion control. So here the congestion control means controlling the traffic over the network. Okay, so controlling the traffic over the network. So in that also we have seen a lot of mechanisms, right? So we have to use a lot of mechanisms of controlling the traffic. So just now I have said one example is a choke packet. Okay, and automatically giving the status, the router will give the status to the sender. Okay, slow down the process. It also slow down the process, that we call it as a back pressure. So from which router it receives the packet, that will be slowed down, right? So by using all those techniques, the traffic should be controlled. So there should not be collision. Okay, traffic should be controlled with no collision. So I'll post the link of the complete computer networks in the description box, so you can check out exactly. Okay, so more number of algorithms we have discussed earlier, right? So I'll post the link in the description. Just go through that. So traffic control should be traffic should be controlled with a no collision. Then only there will be no collision, no congestion. Okay, and multiplexing and demultiplexing. This is related to our first thing, process to process delivery, multiplexing and demultiplexing. So coming to the multiplexing means, it doesn't mean that only one data or one application will be using at a time, right? So there is a chance that multiple applications will be communicated, right? So the data can be transferred. Okay, the data can be transferred, that means email, we can use an email or we can share the files, both can be done at a time. So in such case, we have to collect the data from multiple applications and it forms a single data and it will be sending to the receiver, and while receiving while reaching to the receiver, again the complete data will be divided into different parts and it will be reached to the appropriate applications. So that is called as a multiplexing and demultiplexing. See, for example, so transport layer, let us take, so here different applications, it forms a single thing and it will be sent, and from again on the receiver side, whenever it goes with the transport layer, one data will be sent, and from here again the data will be divided and it will be forwarded to different applications. So here different applications it seems. So here the different applications means how it will be identifying the correct application, right? So that will be depending upon port numbers. For every application there will be a port number, right? So based upon the port number, the data will be reliably sent to that particular application. So when we are using an email, whatever the data we are emailing, that should be received to the email only here. Similarly, if we are sharing one file, that file will be shared with receiver itself, right? So application to application, what I have said just now, so this is a similar to our application to application, that means a process to process delivery, right? So this is a multiplexing and demultiplexing. So all these are the different transport layer services provided to the upper layer. Okay, so process to process delivery, segmentation and reassembly, connection control, flow control, error control, congestion control, and multiplexing and demultiplexing, right? These are all services. So I'll stop here, and if you are having any doubts regarding this one, feel free to post your doubts in the comment section. Definitely I will try to clarify all your doubts. And if you really enjoyed the session, like my session, share my session with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching. Thank you very much.